Good morning, students. Welcome back to another class of Communicative English, wherein today we are going to discuss about the different types of official letters. If you remember, in the previous class, we were talking about the format of the formal letters or the official letters. Then we also understood how do we write an application and how can we implement the format that is detailed to you people in the last class. So let us understand when we talk about official letters or formal letters or the business letters, what are the different types of business letters that we are going to write or probably we are going to receive from the different recipients or from the different respondents who are going to come in contact or in touch so that they can explore more about the product or services or they can know more about you and your organization. So let us start with the brief understanding of all these different types of official letters. When do we write these official letters? What are the purposes? How do we use them in our day-to-day life? And what is the reason of writing or whenever we say that we should write an effective letter, why one should emphasize on writing effective letters? So let us start our class with the basic understanding of the official letters. So when I say official letters, the first thing that we should always remember is we are writing letters to share information, isn't it? In order to share information, in order to gain information, in order to know, in order to explore more about different products and services, we do write letters. So here is the first letter generally. Whenever we are making an inquiry or whenever we are inquiring for a product or a service, the kind of letter that you're going to write is an inquiry letter. Let us take an example. You want to travel from India to Japan or you want to travel from India to Singapore. What do? You make an inquiry, isn't it? Based on the inquiry made, you will come to know about the fare cost as well as the flights which are running from here to Singapore or to the other places. Then where are you going to stay? You're also going to inquire about the hotel, availability of the room, and then you may also book the cab or the taxi. So how do you come to know about all these unless and until you don't explore about it? So what do? You inquire. First of all, you may contact the people who can give you the relevant information, who can share the information with you so that you can plan accordingly. So whenever we talk about inquiry, inquiry is done to know more about the product or services. Say, for example, you want to take admission in International School of Management, Patna, and if you really want to study and if you really want to explore more about the professional courses, you will definitely look for the best college for you, isn't it? And while making your search or while inquiring about the different colleges which are there here in Patna or Bihar, when you explore, when you inquire, or when you make an inquiry from the different colleges, you will come to know that which college is best for you, and you will definitely choose one of the best colleges which can help you in paving or in bridging the gap between you and your skill set, which can definitely create a right ambience for your learning perspective and even for development of your skill. And then ultimately you are going to build your career. So there can be different things that you are inquire. You may inquire with a counselor or with the admission department or with the admission cell or the people who are going to counsel you about the college, about the placement, about the campus, about the infrastructure. So there are different inquiries that are made by a person based on his or her requirement. If you're traveling, your inquiry questions may vary. When you are taking admission, again, your inquiry questions may vary. When you go to purchase a new mobile phone, what do? You again inquire, isn't it? You are going to have a fixed budget, or probably you are looking for a latest version of some or the other mobile phone. So you are going to inquire about the different handsets, different mobile phone. So the first letter that we are talking or we have discussed is inquiry, wherein we try to seek information. We are trying to explore more and more information from the other people. The kind of letter that you're going to write would be an inquiry letter. In response to your inquiry, definitely you will receive some responses. Based on the response, what do? You will decide what to go with. isn't it? So when you are deciding, when you have agreed, when you have thought that this is what I want to know, this is what I was looking for, this is what I was actually expecting, what do? You place an order. You are liking to go with that particular product. Say for example, you have logged on one of the, like when you log in on one of the e-portals, and while browsing the different pages of that particular website, you have come to know that they are selling shoes at much affordable price when compared to other websites. So what do? You immediately book the product, isn't it? What are you doing? You're placing an order. So the first thing that we do is we make an inquiry, and then after making the inquiry of that particular product, the second thing that we go ahead with will be our placing an order. We place an order so that we can get the product, we can use the product, we can start utilizing the product. So purchase order letter is also called as placing an order letter. Whenever we are making our purchases, or when we think or decide that yes, this is what I'm looking forward, I'm willing to buy this, the kind of letter that you're going to write in order to buy the product is called as purchase order letter. The next is sales letter. What do we understand by the term sales letter? Please remember, after receiving your purchase order letter, the department or the concerned authorities may sell the product. The sales officer will sell the product, and then he or she will say that yes, your purchase order is received by them, and they are ready to fulfill your demand, or they are ready to give you the product or send the product to you on your address. So what are they doing? They are selling the product so that the person can receive the product that whatever you have made ordered for or you have ordered for. So please keep this in your mind that whenever we are talking about sales letters are those letters that are written by or that are presented by the sales officer in order to sell or in order to close the process of buying and selling. So once when the sales is done, here the process of buying and sales will not end up the relationship between the buyer and seller. Many a times it may happen that the person whosoever has received the product either is not in good condition or is in good condition, but it is different from what you have expected, isn't it? Or sometimes it may happen that you have received a damaged product. So what are you going to do once after receiving the product? You're not going to say that, oh, this is my bad luck, that is the reason I have received a broken instrument or a broken gadget, so I may have to adjust with it. Immediately you are going to write a complaint letter, isn't it? So you are going to complain to the concerned authorities stating that what was the day on which you have placed the order, when did you receive the order, that is the day on which you have sent an email placing your order, the day on which the confirmation was received from the other side to you stating that the order was sent on your address, and the day on which you have received the product, what are the problems that you are facing, or what are the defects that you could identify or that you have noticed or observed in that particular product or the service. So you should remember that whenever we are talking about the complaint letter doesn't happen always only after receiving the product. Sometimes you may also complain when you are inquiring and there is no response from the other side. All right. So similarly, when we are talking about purchase order, many a times you might have given an email, or you might have made calls or phone calls or telephonic conversation had happened between you and the other person, but there is no sales done yet. So what are you going to do? You're going to write a complaint letter. Please remember, complaint doesn't mean only after the end of the buying and selling process. It may also happen when you are not satisfied with the inquiry that is made, or when there is no response from the other party or from the other side. So once when you have complained, there will be someone who's going to respond to your complaint. Many a times, if you have bought a product and the product is not in good condition, and if it is in guarantee and warranty period, what the person is going to do? He or she is going to replace your product. Or in case if the product is not in stock, then they may refund it. So based on the availability, based on the terms and condition, you will receive certain appropriate answer from the authorities. Such letters that you receive against your complaint letter, in response to your complaint letter, are called as adjustment letters. So please remember, whenever we are talking about adjustment letters, these are those letters wherein the person is getting a proper solution to his or her problem. So if you have raised an inquiry, though there was no proper response from the other side, you made a complaint. Now, based on the complaint that was filed by you or that you have approached, whatever the answer that you're going to receive would be considered as an adjustment letter. All right. So please remember, whenever we are talking about adjustment letters, sometimes adjustment letters are in the form of apology. Sometimes it could also be in the form of replacement. Sometimes it could be in the form of refund of the money. All right. So say, for example, you have bought a shoe. The picture of the shoe that was shown on the website or on the web page of that particular portal was totally different from the product that you have received. What are you going to do? Of course, you are going to file a complaint, but at the same time, you are not willing to keep that product with you. So you may look for an exchange, or you may say that I want the repayment to be done or refund of my money should be made. So such kind of letters that you are going to write in order to get the money back from the company, and the response to that particular reply would be considered as adjustment letter. The next is follow-up letter. Follow-up letters are those letters where you're still waiting for a suitable reply. Let us take an example in order to understand what follow-up letters are. Say you are a student who has just finished class 12 and you have not yet decided where to take your admission. So would you like to go with BBA or BCA or BCom or BMC or any other graduation course? Now, the one who are into admission team, the one who are into counseling team, what do? They come to know that yes, you are a student who is an aspirant who is looking to do his or her graduation. They will make calls to you. They are going to call you saying that if you are interested, if you are keen to take admission in their particular institute, you can walk down to their office to get the counseling done, or you may know more about the organization by visiting the website. So on the very first day, they will not expect that you are going to take up the decision and you're not going to give them a final answer, isn't it? So they may call you back. They may call you back after a week. If you take another week time and if you say that, look, ma'am, I need a week time in order to take or in order to finally decide, they will call you once again after a week. So what are they doing? They are following you. Why are they following you? Because you are a prospect for them. They think that you are one of the interested client, and certainly you are going to take admission in so and so organization or the institution. So keep this in your mind that whenever we talk about follow-up are regular interaction with the same person in order to get his or her responses. Sometimes the response may be in negative, sometimes it could be in positive. You should not get rejected, or like you should not get dejected. You should not feel sad once when you get any kind of rejection, because rejections are part and parcel of our life. And as a management student or as a technical student, you all should understand that if somebody is rejecting you, that means they are getting probably something else from the other side, maybe a better option, or there are your competitors who are working better than you. So you should understand where the competition is and how to cut short that particular competition. And the market is open market, and where there is n number of participants, there are n number of competitors who are working. So you should always keep your eyes and ears open to identify who the competitors are, what are they offering, what is it that you are offering, how can you compare, and how can you attract your audience. So this is very, very important when we talk about the follow-up. And the follow-up will definitely help you out in order to improve your product as well as services. Then comes recommendation letter. Many a times when you have worked in an organization, if you have studied in certain institution, and when you're approaching to the higher authorities to proceed with your higher education in some other college, at some other universities, or maybe when you are working in an organization, from one organization you want to switch to the other organization, then for sure you will be asked to submit a recommendation letter. What do we understand by recommendation letter? It is a letter which talks about your credential. It is a letter which talks that yes, you are the right candidate whom the company may hire, or you are the right student who can be given admission in so and so college or university for higher studies. So recommendation letters are very important these days because it's a kind of a proof about your behavioral aspect, about your mannerism, about your character. So these are very important. People will definitely ask for character certificate, or even the college living certificate, which talks about your character and the behavior, but they are more focused to get the recommendation letters particularly from those under whom you have worked or under whom you were mentored. Then comes acknowledgement letter. Acknowledgement letters are those letters wherein you say that I agree to receive this. I have agreed that I received this. Or you say that yes, it is me who has received the so and so document. Acknowledge means to say yes to whatever you were asked to do. That is, say for example, when you are working in an organization, or whenever you have been posted on certain roles and responsibilities. Say you are a student of BBA or BCA or BMC or BCom, and then you were given a position of class representative. Your class coordinator, that is your faculty coordinator, will issue a letter wherein there will be certain roles and responsibilities mentioned, and then he or she will expect an acknowledgement from your side, wherein you have to acknowledge that you are going to follow all the rules and regulations that are mentioned in that particular letter, and you will be strictly obeying and adhering all these rules and regulations. So acknowledgement letters are very important because acknowledgement always gives you a clarity of what you are supposed to do, of what is expected from you, and you have read all the required document, all the necessary documents in depth. All right. So acknowledgement letters are very important. It's again like a proof. It's an evidence. Uh, you might have received couriers or speed post. The day when you receive the courier man or the person whosoever is delivering, the delivery person will ask you to mark your signature. Why do they ask you to mark your signature? Why don't they hand it over to anybody? Because they want to acknowledge that the right person has received the parcel, right? So again, it's a kind of acknowledgement. The day when you take an admission, you are given an admission letter. Why are they issuing an admission letter? Because they acknowledge that yes, you are the candidate whosoever has taken the admission, and that is a proof. Similarly, I-cards, the identity card that is issued to you, is a kind of an acknowledgement, right? So keep all these things in your mind. Don't get confused when you hear the word acknowledge. Acknowledge is kind of a proof wherein you assure, wherein you are giving a guarantee, and when you agree to do certain things. Then comes cover letter. I don't know how many of you have written cover letter or might have seen a cover letter. This in depth we are going to talk and discuss when we are talking about, or when we will be talking about, the career preparedness session. But for the time being, let us understand what cover letter is. Cover letter is a brief description of what we are, or what we want to do, or what we propose to do. All right. So cover letter can be written for different purposes. Say, for example, when you are giving your proposal, then you do write a cover letter. When you are accepting any job role, again, you will be given a cover letter. Even when you are applying for any of the position, you may have to write a cover letter. Cover letter is a brief about either the product or the individual or the services. So at in depth, we are going to talk about the cover letter in the chapter number 6 related to career preparedness. Then appointment letter. You all know that when you are appearing for an interview process, in some situations, or under certain circumstances, people may get rejected, or a few will get selected. The one who are rejected, they will again receive a rejection letter, or they will be requested to improve their skills hone their knowledge so that next time when they are appearing for any of the interview process, they can get through it. And the one who are selected, they will receive either an offer letter or a job appointment letter. So keep this in your mind that whenever you hear an offer letter, don't get confused. They are talking about the appointment related to the job or related to the responsibilities that you're going to apply or follow up. So therefore, appointment letters are generally issued or given to those people who are selected in an interview process. Resignation. After working for a year, 2 or 5 or 10 in the same organization, when you think that your growth prospect is not that bright, you are looking for a change, or probably due to some or the other reasons, you are looking for a change in your company or in the organization or even in your profile, you may have to take the decision of switching from one organization to the other. You may decide that yes, this is not the place where I am looking forward to work further. I want to change my position. So what do? You are going to offer or you're going to write a resignation letter. So we are going to talk at length what resignation letter is. Please remember, resignation letters are those that are written by an employee to his or her employer. I repeat, a resignation letter is written by an employee to his or her employer. You are going to serve notice period. Let us understand what notice period is. Whenever you have worked in an organization for a year or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, you know that you were asked to follow up certain rules and regulations. You were asked to follow certain policies, and you cannot leave those responsibilities at side. And you cannot say that tomorrow I will not be coming to the organization because I resigned, and from tomorrow onwards I'm going to join some other organization. That will be breach of contract. So what you have to do, you have to keep this in your mind that as you have worked in an organization, you are always going to uh, give that good relationship, and you will have that relationship. You are going to sustain that relationship. So in order to have that friendly and fruitful relationship, even for the near future or even for your upcoming years, you should always keep this in your mind that after resigning, you should always work for the organization till the time you are going to train the new employee, and this is done during your notice period. All right, so keep this in your mind. Based on the different organization, there could be a notice period of 15 days or a month or 2 or 3. All right, so these things anyways you people are going to study when you are going to talk about human resource management in your third semester. But for the time being, let us understand that whenever we are moving from one organization to the other, a letter that is written by an employee to his or her employer is called as resignation. In case if the organization is removing you from your job, then you are going to receive a termination letter. And I believe that students or the one who are looking for the career as an entrepreneur, you will not terminate. Rather, you're going to encourage people to learn, to explore their skills, and to develop their abilities. All right. So these are the different letters that we will be using when we are going to associate, when we are going to work with a different organization. To sum it up, we have discussed about inquiry letter, we talked about purchase order letter, we talked about sales letter, we discussed about the complaint letter and adjustment letter. We also discussed what is a follow up letter, how recommendation letters are very important, what is the role of an acknowledgement letter, when do we use cover letters, what is an appointment letter, as well as resignation letter. So this is all about the different types of letters that are used by all of us whenever we are interacting with the different people on different purposes. All right. So we'll be talking about the effective writing skills in the next class. Till then, take care of yourself and have a fantastic day ahead.